that's not. That's recorded. Okay, call the meeting to order. Okay, approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
Approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Actually, I have a question on that. Said, you look at, it has to do with the GOES application. I was reviewing that, and it said that, where is it? Recast it, the application has changed since 2014, and it's stated here that it has not. Well, the GOES application has different dollar amounts in it than one they use now, by quite a bit. And I know it had been talked about several years ago about raising the fees, for the different things, but I don't know if it was ever approved by the city commission. And I'm thinking it probably wasn't. And that's why we're back down to, the lower fees, because as an example, the GOES application, it's, like a zoning request is $250, whereas it actually right now is like $50, and, the plat submission is $500 where it used to be $200. Or where it is now, it's $200. So I guess Joan's not here to answer that question, if, I'm assuming it was never voted on by the city commission.
I'd have to look at that.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted that noted that, it's completely different, figures.
Kind of the point of the question was, I guess that's a difference, but do they look at the plat and the lot split differently now than they did then? And how is that detailed on the form? But I guess I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking the price difference. But.
Yeah, I guess I did talk with David Lindell, and this is kind of my thinking too. I mean, I've been on planning and zoning for a long time. And generally, when you do a plat submission, it's on undeveloped land. And then if it's already developed and you're gonna, switch some lines around, then it's basically a lot split or a replat, which really does qualify for the lesser.
And that's what we
like
told, we had
$50.
asked her to go back to planning and zoning and, just to double verify
Okay.
and see what you guys, what they had figured or what they thought about, then
Yeah.
bring it back to us, so that.
Okay, so that's where it's at.
Yeah, because it was kind of one of them deals to be up in the air.
Okay,
So we figured it'd be better off to go back to planning and zoning
sure,
and let them make that decision and then bring it back to us.
very good. Okay.
Planning and zoning will be looking at it on August 11th.
Okay, all right, so, any other discussion on that? Okay, now vote to approve minutes, Keith? Reese?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, air conditioner for the library,
Yeah, the library is in my portfolio, and the air conditioner went out on the 25th. And the cost for replacement estimate from K&D was $3,000, and that goes above the $1,500 of purchasing limits for emergency situations for commissioners. So there was an amendment to that motion at that time, back in 2015, that if the president of the commission and the portfolio holder agreed, they could make some discretionary decision. So it was approved to spend the $3,000. The air conditioner went in yesterday and everything is working, so I just wanted to let folks know that.
yeah, it needed to be done.
Yes.
What are you gonna do?
Yep.
Okay, driveway apron, curb, Jamie Weber, Second Avenue.
I guess I was thinking about this, since that time. I'm just wondering, we said there's gonna be a 6-foot apron there. And I'm wondering if we really shouldn't rethink this, just because with the elevation of what he's going to do, we don't know what he's going to do with that land. And I haven't actually talked to Jamie about it, but also, how would we ever enforce it? The 6-foot apron
Question, when you say 6-foot apron, that's along the whole curb?
on the whole curve.
It wasn't gonna be along the whole curb,
Well, along the
just
one side.
where he was gonna enter,
Yeah.
where the driveway was gonna
But
be.
that
It wasn't gonna be the whole
The whole
side
side
of
is
that
going,
street.
the whole side's going to be accessible. That's the problem.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize the whole side.
That's
was
why I'm
accessible.
bringing it up again, is just so we can look at that again. And then plus, I think there was some wrong information. He's not gonna be able to put no parking signs there anyway, because it's a public street.
Yeah.
So I guess myself is, I'm wondering if we either shouldn't rescind this and think of a different way of doing it, maybe without that apron, or if there's any other ideas you guys have. But I'm just wondering if we shouldn't look at that again.
Well, I guess I don't understand why we have to put a driveway the whole length of that street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, to me, that is
Yeah.
not,
Kind of defeats the
you
purpose.
can't do that. Where you, then
Well-
basically that takes up all, there's no parking there at all.
But they'll still be able to park.
It's a mountable curb is what, I guess, from what I
On the other
understand.
side, he has the same thing. On the other side, kind of on the restaurant side, he's got that type of curve on that side already.
On the
So it's-
restaurant side.
Yeah, what street is that?
Sixth.
Right, he already has
Sixth.
that type of curve already, right?
Yeah, it's heard that he could drive it.
Yeah.
It is.
So he was going to match the same thing on Second. So my point being is, I think we need to relook at that, whichever way we decide.
How much time do we have when we look at that? When do we need to know by?
We're not gonna be building that street for a while. We still have to do the sewer and the water on that block
Oh,
of
okay.
Second Avenue, so you have time on that.
Yeah.
Should
When's
we
our
at
next
least
meeting?
rescind the motion today?
If you want to, we have to have a 2/3 vote for that.
Okay.
When's our next meeting? Will we,
2 weeks.
15.
so that's plenty of time, 2 weeks?
Well, I don't wanna say plenty of time, but you'd have time. And I can communicate with you guys too along the way, as to what you're thinking.
Because we would want Jamie back in.
So on Sixth Street, there's a mountable curb there? No.
It's not like a regular driveway curb, but it's not a standard curb either. It's
It's deteriorated
Probably.
over the years where it's not there no more.
And I'm not sure, when they installed it, if they put in a non-standard curb, but it's definitely not a standard.
Well, that used to be,
space.
way back when, it used to be like a machinery dealer, so I suppose they kind of drove up everywhere, so.
And he could drive over it with a pickup and a trailer. He could if he wanted to, from what I can tell on that street, on Sixth Street, but I'm not sure exactly what he exactly wants on Second Avenue. He wants it to be.
Was he here at the last meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that, I guess.
I guess I don't have a problem rescinding that motion, saying he's gotta have that apron all the way.
Okay, well, I'll move to rescind the motion about the driveway apron and curb, and then we can have a new motion in 2 weeks, I guess.
Second that.
Okay, is there any further discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
Teresa?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, approved method of contact with city commissioners.
And I guess I can talk about that one. At the last meeting, we just touched base on that. I made mention that initially I had joined in June, and there was a form with all the phone numbers and email addresses for commissioners, employees of the city, addresses, things like that, and it's very very handy. And then Larry, you had requested only receive communications by mail, so really the discussion revolves around the idea that we're all doing the same method of communication, so it's consistent. So we want to just have general discussion about that.
Right, well, what I want is, or what I'm where I'm standing at is, I print off a lot of the stuff, you know, because I keep a hard copy of a lot of stuff. And I really don't know why I should use my ink, my paper, my printer, you know, when the city can print all that off and, you know, send out agenda items and stuff like that. Plus, I really hate reading something on a screen that big.
But I will say is we went with the iPads and we tried to get as paperless as possible,
Mhm.
and that was just months ago,
About a year ago.
again, a year ago.
Right.
But anyway, if the ink and paper and those type of things are an issue, maybe that's something that the city should reimburse, you know, like for example.
I would just rather they did it.
You know.
Then I don't have to spend my time doing it. you
Because
know.
it's just one more thing for the city to have to do as far as make sure they get it to the mail by Friday, you know, at a certain time, and I just think we should try to be uniform.
I think the biggest thing is if there is something that, what we're more worried about, other than just mailing that stuff, is if something does come up, I mean, do we have to mail our request to you, or, I mean, can we still call you, you know,
Well,
I mean, that's.
absolutely, I made it clear, you can
I-
ask me by phone.
See, I mean, I think that, if that's where everybody's getting
Well,
the.
I'm just saying, human resources, after us going through it, I just think we need to be uniform. You know, and I'm not talking about conversations between us, you know, as far as, you know, whatever, but I think we need to be uniform as far as, yeah, you know, maybe we can also send it out, but, you know, we have to make sure that we're all doing it about the same way. And they should be doing it the same for all of us. You know, not, you know, because what happens if I just say, I want everything text to me? You know, where does it end? You know, we can all have a different, you know.
So with that agenda item, the idea is that possibly the commission can agree on a uniform way, consistent way of doing it, and we're in agreement on that. That's the idea. Because if emails are kicked out and 4 of the 5 get those essentially immediately, or have the chance to see those all at the same time, and then you're seeing it possibly a day or 2 days later, the timing of that
Well,
is gonna be.
you know, you're assuming that everybody checks their emails every day. I don't. You know, I sometimes go for a week without checking them.
Very true. But at least everyone has the same opportunity to see it at the same time.
Right.
That was, that's pretty good.
Well, let's table that for now and then we'll think about it. I'll see if something else, maybe I come up with something else that'll work. You know, whereas agenda items can be emailed or something, and then maybe some other things could be emailed. If that's okay with everybody?
Okay, table.
And we're more than happy to print out anything you want, you know, and have a folder in the office for you to pick up any equipment time too.
Interim funding for the 2016 street project. See that we have the first payment ready to go out, and I think that came from our funds now, correct?
Yes.
But the next one is going to be a lot bigger,
Mhm.
like, we're looking at $750,000 probably.
I'm not sure, I don't have a number. Do you have a paramedic? Eric?
Yeah, it's gonna be probably closer to that $750,000 side of things, I guess, but would have to look into it to see exactly. But I would guess if they would try to submit the pay application, towards the end of this month, it'd be closer to $1 million total, at that point.
So they haven't submitted anything yet except for this first one.
Okay, so you have gotten the first one then for?
215.
Okay, so yeah, it'd probably be somewhere between that $500,000 to $750,000 this next one would be, I would guess.
Any idea when you think they'll be asking for that?
I would have guessed that they would have sent a pay application by now, but they haven't. If they're gonna want to, send one, they'll need to do it soon before your next commission meeting, which I believe is in 2 weeks.
15th?
I haven't seen one yet though.
Okay.
So do we need to get a loan taken out so it's ready when that does happen?
We need some kind of funding to pay that. They won't have enough to cover it.
No, well, I'm thinking that, well, first of all, we need to know how much it's going to be. You know, and then generally, once they submit, it usually is a couple weeks before they get paid, correct?
Correct.
Because it has to go through a meeting,
Yep.
you know, and they realize that. So, has the office made any initial contacts with the bank on a loan, or?
No, we need your guys' direction to, if that's what you guys want us to do, to get a loan.
Well, I think what we need to do is we need to contact them and, you know, say that we're probably going to be needing a short-term
Yeah.
loan. And I think that, the bonding money will come in sometime in September. Is that?
I believe by the end of September. I believe by the end of September.
End of September. So do you, Sharon, do you think we need a motion to, well, I suppose we don't, not to just check on the bank.
Yeah, if you're okay with us.
Yeah. Well, it's in the minutes, so.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and find out what their interest is and, you know, if there's any hassles and stuff. So.
Okay,
I mean, I don't think there will be. It's been done before.
yes.
So. Okay. Any other discussion on that? Office closed on August 16th.
Joan and I will be going to training for League of Cities on the 16th.
That's that one for like auditors and.
Yep, that's correct.
I saw that in the thing.
That's just in Bismarck.
Yep, it is. It's just for the day.
You'll have Brian's phone number posted on the door or
Yep,
something?
that's
Okay.
correct.
Very good. Okay, moving on, employee disciplinary form. Keeping oil.
Okay.
Hey.
You know, just, I think we need to have some type of form that if we do need to talk to an employee about an issue, that we can document it.
And this kind of started when, I think it was probably, again, a month ago, we had meetings with the employees.
Yeah.
And we went through a list of things that we'd like to see. The meetings went very well, some things we wanted to see improved, those type of things. But then we thought to ourselves, you know what, we kind of need something that's a form that'd be kind of handy to work with as well. And again, with each employee, we had individual employees, and we talked to each one of them about things that they are doing well, but also things that we want them to improve on. We also talked about going to in-services like this here, training, and also some public relations type of things that we're going to be working on as well. So this kind of goes along with it, with the human resources.
Well, I think it's a good idea to have a form. Yeah, absolutely.
And this might be something you might want to just take a look at it, and maybe not act on it right now, but maybe there's something that needs to be changed
Right.
for everyone.
We
Well-
were gonna change on the bottom though, so that it was, instead of department head, it was just gonna say, for the bottom two, commissioner/supervisor, so that, you know, if the supervisor also needs to use it.
That's what it says here. Well, yeah, I mean, it's fine, I mean, you should have a form to work with, Yes?
You have a copy that, I want a copy of that form. Thank you.
You're welcome. Renaissance always does this every year, and she has the path marked out. She does it for her son that died, and so she's just wondering if this is okay again, like we've done in the past.
Make a motion to approve the Fred 5 on September 26th.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Reese?
Aye.
Good.
Hi.
Aye. Special liquor license request for the Captain's Cabin. I'm assuming this is for their cystic fibrosis run.
Yes, it is.
Been doing it for quite a few years now.
Yep. It is on July 28th.
August.
August.
Oh, August, sorry. August 20th.
You what?
It's for August 20th. I was looking at the date
Or
on the
August
horizon.
28th?
He has on there August 20th.
Oh, because the thing says,
Oh,
Oh, it says,
sorry.
that was
it should be
added.
August. Yeah,
That means the office added it on that page.
yep, it should be for
That
August
item.
20th.
okay, I'm just saying on the agenda it says the 28th.
yeah.
Yes,
So-
sorry.
That's fine. So it is on the 20th?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll move we approve the special liquor license for Captain's Cabin.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
Reese?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Land use and business at 311 Fifth Avenue. Lou and Jessica, Keith? Come on up. Okay, yeah, it's fine. What would you like?
I don't really know what we're on here for.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Well,
I have no idea.
I think the concern here was that the engineer knows.
Just one second.
What was the concern with the balloon? As far as the culvert?
I guess the only concern was how they were extending the pipe, and you were worried about the drainage area.
Yeah, see what ended up happening is we ended up getting a few calls, I did, and then so did Reese, about the culvert and the drainage area being kind of changed around or whatever.
Nothing changed around at all. Straight shot, straight off of the culverts that are existing.
Yeah, that's what I mean though, is you
Nothing's
connected on,
been changed,
you
no
connected onto
waterways been
a,
changed.
you connected onto a city culvert though.
Okay,
That was the concern without anybody on the commission knowing.
I didn't know I had to ask, or I would have.
Yeah.
I did get in there and clean out the plug culvert that was plugged 90% by hand, which was a pain.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Well, you have to realize
At a
though, there's
certain
people in
size.
the community or people in your area
Mhm.
that have a stake in this too. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, okay,
You know, because the water's running through there and also
Mhm.
it's a residential area.
yeah. But I didn't block the water.
Well,
Is that the concern, that I blocked the water or changed the water flow?
no, the concern
Okay.
was that there was a culvert
Yeah,
and it was changed and the city didn't know.
okay. Changed how? I didn't
You
change
added on-
anything.
you added
I
on to
added
it.
to it, yes, but that changed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess I'm confused how that,
I'm confused too. The first somebody said I plugged the waterway and changed the waterway, and that's, no,
Nobody
that
said
didn't
that.
happen, so,
nobody said that.
okay,
And like I said, it's a residential area.
okay.
And as a city, if something is adjusted or whatever, we should know,
Okay,
you know, because that's why we have engineers to check it out. And I'm the one speaking right now,
okay,
but there were concerns by residents and other commissioners,
okay.
you know?
There are no permits,
You know,
and I don't even know if that's a
Yeah, is there a
permissible
permit? Yeah.
thing, so there's a question there.
Okay.
If you connect to a city culvert to extend it, is there something that needs to go through planning and zoning? Do we need to document it, so just have a discussion about this? Is
See,
it
what-
something
More
that,
see,
than
what-
happy to get one if I
see,
need
when
one.
we get calls, we
Yeah.
have to know what's going on, because if
Okay.
I get a call and I'm like, I have no idea.
So this is on that land that you guys bought, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're doing improvements, cleaned it all up, and, get rid of the
Oh,
stuff
and we're not
and
saying that
stuff
it's a
and
bad
mowing it
thing.
down, so.
You know, we were just wondering what was going on.
Yeah. No,
I think
that's-
it'd be easy for the commission to talk about it if we knew or had it engineer approved prior to, or had a permit filed for that. And so that's really just the discussion here.
If somebody, see the engineer, would you like to come and look at what's been done, that satisfying?
I've seen
Okay.
I've seen what you guys are doing there, and as far as you're filling in That's not really affecting as much water that's gonna be coming through there.
Yeah.
The same amount, the drainage area is not changed.
No, it's a 30-inch culvert, I kept 30-inch to match what was there and kept it a straight shot. And
The same,
You know.
the same drainage area is gonna be going through that
there,
pipe.
yes,
So,
regardless.
I guess I don't have a concern there. I guess the only thing that I would ask the commission is if, as far as the planning and zoning, if this is a residential area, if there's anything that he has to do differently.
Yeah,
With
well,
running a pipe through there. I don't
I'm just
know.
trying to extend it so I can make viable land. So, I mean, I've gotta put a culvert there, or do you want me just to fill it all in and stop the water flow? I don't think you want that, so I'm preventing that by continuing on with that culvert. Pretty simple, I didn't think it was a big deal, so, I mean,
I guess, you know, I mean, I guess just a simple,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you
And I don't
have
see a big deal.
to, you have to
about it.
realize it is a residential area, you know.
Okay, I understand it,
You
but
know,
still something has to
And
be
there
addressed. I
are
can't-
people, there are people below you that were wondering what's going on,
Okay.
and we couldn't answer the questions,
Okay,
you know, and we have an engineer that we pay quite well,
yeah.
that could have taken a look and said, hey, that works,
Mhm.
or there's something you
Yeah.
need to adjust before it was done.
Yeah, if somebody could just stop by and say, hey, Blue, what's going on? I mean, I'd be happy to talk to anybody, you know, pretty simple.
Yeah. Right.
That's a natural drain.
Mhm.
And when you mess with a natural drain, you need permission. I don't care if you keep it the same, or you alter it, or whatever. And that's what I think, you can't change a natural drain
Right.
that has been a drain for,
Great,
They
there's
didn't
already
change
a
it.
culvert there.
He didn't change it, nothing. He just extended
It's
the
already a culvert
culvert
there,
out.
it's not a natural drain, it's already a culvert there.
He didn't change the land,
put,
you know,
you
nothing
can
like
put
that.
extra culverts in, he changed the natural
He not
drain.
actually just added
It
to
may
it.
speed the flow up, it may hinder it, I don't know. But you can't tell me he didn't change the natural drain of that coulee,
Didn't.
He
because
did
it
not.
was
No, I can
running,
tell you he didn't.
not in culverts. That's all that's
What
fine.
comes out of a culvert.
State
I
law
can draw
says
you
you
a picture
cannot
if that
change a
helps.
natural drain
Right, and I agree
without
with you.
permission.
But he didn't change none of the land work. He didn't do nothing. There's a culvert already there.
I
He added
understand
to
that,
one
he
culvert.
extended the culvert, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
but he didn't change the natural drain of it though. It was already made up by engineers and that made that to do that. Natural drain is down in a valley where it's natural runoff off a side of a hill going down through a valley that makes its way to the waters and streams.
Mhm. That's a natural drain.
That's how I see it. That's just my own opinion, that's how I see it.
It's,
I don't
think it's
care,
fine.
but I just made a comment, it's a
Fine.
natural drain, you
Now that
can't
we
mess
know.
with it without permission.
If that size pipe was able to handle that drainage area, that's above that. I think the Baptist church probably drains in there, and
Mhm.
I haven't looked at the drainage area above the pipe.
Gateway
you know,
comes in, the Catholic church drains in there as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that all goes through that pipe.
Mhm.
And what is it, a 30-inch pipe?
30-inch.
It's a
I've
30-inch
seen
pipe.
it halfway full so far. With those heavy rains we had the past 2 times, half is as high as I've seen it so far.
So
But it wasn't even having that much come through it till I cleaned it out.
right.
So, and there's still a bunch more in there, and on the church side, it's not level anymore, there's a big belly in there. So something is settled on the opposite side of the coulee. So
Yeah.
eventually there's gonna be a problem.
And if that pipe is able to handle
Mhm.
all those rains from the
Mhm.
drainage area that is above it, that comes
Mhm.
to it, then it shouldn't
No.
have any issue.
well, if it wasn't big enough, then we'd have to change the whole
Yeah.
pipe all the way
Yeah.
through the
Correct.
road.
You just have to realize, one of the reasons we're here is because we're elected to represent the people. And if there's something not quite right, we have to present it to somebody, just like this, or, you know, like some people have asked about having a business in a residential area. People are concerned, so I have to, or other people have to bring it up to make sure that's not an issue to begin with. And that's all we're doing, you know. We just wanna make sure that the questions are answered, and like in this situation, it's probably way better than it was before.
Oh, it
It's
is.
just that I wish that it
No.
would have been brought up ahead of
Now,
time.
there is a concern, because it goes from 30 in that coulee that I'm attached
Mhm.
to the next culvert's 30, then George Levy's, there's like an 18-inch steel culvert there. So that's where the choke point is poor Levy's piece of property,
Okay,
you know, so,
Well, that type of information,
Yeah.
you know, if you're looking in the existing coulee
Mhm.
and you see that it's maybe blocked, the city would be at an advantage to know that information, so
mhm.
if you see something like that, it'd be great to know down here. So we can act
I'm
on
more
it.
than happy to help anybody. you know, so, and I keep the street, the alley in between through the gravel road. Every rainfall that comes, it washes the gravel out in the street. I go gather it up, put it back in the street for everybody. Not even think twice about it, so.
So what would we how would we benefit here to document that there's a connection to a city culvert? That's maybe,
And if I have to come get a permit tomorrow for extending, I'll be more than happy to.
I guess
Not
it
a
was,
problem.
I guess it was more informational
Okay.
than anything, is
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure that our engineers kind of gave the thumbs up
Yeah.
that it was going to be okay, because, you know, you obviously have experience in it, the next
bit,
person might
yeah.
not, and then where are we at,
Mhm.
you know? And just like you say, that choke point,
Yeah,
then we have a bunch of choke points around town, you know?
and then two, say we have trouble with the city culvert and we have to dig that up. Now we need to worry about connecting to a residential culvert, so then there's a concern from the city side of things, so.
which I'm more than happy to, hey, come on.
Well,
I'll help you do
yeah,
it,
you
you know?
may be, but if, say you were to sell and then
Yeah.
someone else would come in and then we would have, someone not in the know
Mhm.
and we'd have no documentation for it, so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm.
Or-
When I was on the city commission, we had a similar instance on Northgate where a resident wanted to tie into the city culvert. And we did give approval as long as they use the same
Same size.
same material. The only thing is we needed a variance to where if we needed to go in and inspect that culvert,
Mhm.
we could go on your property at any
Uh-huh.
time. And then, you know, it's the liability thing too. If that street ever gets tore out or that culvert ever fails, it's, you know, to where they tie in, because it's city culvert into yours. I guess you gotta hash out that verbal agreement or responsibility.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's fine now. I mean, I think we're all good with it, just in the future. it'd be
Do we
nice
need to put
know.
something in writing though, that it's there and, you know what I mean?
You're gonna need a variance. You're gonna have to get, sorry for speaking up, Tom.
For answering.
You just, you're gonna need some kind of paperwork stating that his work was approved by engineer because he used the common pipe. But he needs to give the city approval to go on his property as needed for inspection. So, however you guys wanna write that up. That's what we did. Our project never got done because the landowner never did come with the variance to allow the city to do that, so it was never approved. But it sounds like he is more than willing to work with the city, so.
Really protects both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Is the
Exactly.
form that we have for permits, I know on there as variance, does it have the right fields to support
It
something
would
like
be an
this?
easement, not a variance.
Or, easement, sorry.
An easement to go on. Well, it's a natural drain. I mean, it's the natural drain with a culvert in it. It's. I guess I really don't see the issue. I guess, I mean, we have it in the minutes now,
Yeah.
you know.
Wouldn't it be easier if we had it in an actual file for the city to look back at?
Where would
I
anybody
mean-
ever find it? You know,
We keep the file
Well, if I get a permit,
Yeah.
keep the permits, right? The
just for.
papers we
You have
file.
some
Yeah.
for-
If I get a permit for
So
culvert
it's like
extension, I
easier
put on
instead
the
of looking back
description
to
and
minutes, trying to
you can
figure
come out and
out.
Yeah, I
see
mean,
it again.
I've already
Okay,
seen it.
alright, you know, then
Are you gonna extend it any more than it is?
I would like to, yeah, you know, so.
Then we'll probably get to.
Yeah, we probably need to
Yeah.
talk about
That'd be a
that.
good idea.
You know,
That you might need to come back for.
okay.
I guess how far did you extend it now?
I added, 6 times, 7, or 8, 8 of them. I think they're 6 foot apiece. Yeah, probably through 8 sections,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so.
Okay.
So that's why I got
6 foot
everybody's
piece.
attention
That's
over
why
there,
I got
bright new
everybody's
shiny
attention.
stuff.
And I crawled in each of them. Each
So I'm
time
just saying, that's
yeah.
what got everybody's attention, was
Oh.
bright new shiny stuff hanging around over there.
Yeah.
Changed and it was different and wasn't great.
Mhm.
I can see.
And as far as the trucks coming and going, those are all Wagners. I mean, somebody thought I owned all those vehicles coming in. It says Wagner on the side of it, big as day. And
Right.
I'm only, I gave them that place to dump it all because it benefits me and benefits them for speeding up the road project. And they wanted someplace closer to get rid of it instead of dumping it at your all's place here and then having to move it twice. I was like, this is perfect. They're tickled to death. So I'm glad to have it. So,
So before we go to that, is it agreed that come in and we'll look at a variance or easement?
I thought I was gonna get a
Document
permit.
it? Permit?
Yeah.
Permit,
I guess anything that says
Yeah.
that we're fine for you to inspect it.
Yeah.
right.
And
Yeah.
he says it's fine,
Think you
so
got something like that?
We can break something up and have them sign
And
it.
then,
Right.
that's fine.
do you have any idea how much further you're planning on extending it?
Probably another, just a guess. I'd like to go maybe another 40 or 60 feet. I've got to measure it to see where I was gonna end up at.
Yeah. I think
I'm not
that's-
going the whole way,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way
I
I
think-
could.
I think
there's
that
no
might
way
have
I
been a
could tie-
concern
yeah,
myself.
Yeah, no, there's no way I could tie that one with the other
Yeah.
existing one because there's two different elevation changes.
But now do you see
Yeah.
why I was getting calls and why Reese was getting calls? That's a concern, like, you know.
Mhm.
But maybe if you can get together with our engineers,
Mhm. Oh, that's
you know,
fine.
and then, you guys can work it out
Yeah.
and
Okay,
Yes.
bring it back to the city commission and we'll,
okay,
if that works out for you guys.
that's terrific.
You know, I hope you
Yeah.
guys don't think that we're,
No,
trying to get after you
no.
guys or anything. We're just trying to do our
Yeah.
our
No, I understand.
duty.
Well, I'm sure you guys get lots of calls,
Yeah.
questions, what's
Yeah.
going on, and if you don't have any answers, it's a
And
little
we-
difficult to.
And believe it or not,
react.
some people actually try to get around the rules,
Yeah.
and.
Wasn't trying to get around,
No.
I just didn't know I needed, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's somebody gonna call anyone out there mowing the lot now, cause I've been down there with a lawnmower mowing the sides of it. I mean, I'm doing something, everybody's
no.
watching me.
Yeah, it looks nice. No, it looks very nice,
Yeah.
it's just we have to cover everybody.
I'll have to swing by there. I didn't know about it, so I'll swing by there on the,
Small
when
town.
we're done here. Okay, thank you guys for
Okay,
coming.
thanks.
Anything else that we,
Yeah,
I'll draw
well,
something up and then
Okay.
Okay.
we'll look at it and go from there, okay?
Right.
That's fine.
and then to confirm, one last thing, confirm that the material being placed in there.
It's
was-
fill material.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
it's nothing that's, it's not like concrete chunks or asphalt chunks or anything like that.
Okay,
It's-
so that's captured in the minutes, so
Okay.
questions, we can just refer to the meeting here and done with it, instead of,
And if you have any
Well-
issues with what they're bringing you to it,
yeah,
just,
no, anything that I see.
I think it's all fill, it's all been fill material from what I.
It's been fill, clay, there's been a little bit of debris and trash, but I've been calling that out and hauling it off, getting rid of it.
Well,
So,
that's what you do for a living, and you know.
Yeah,
what you do.
you know,
Plus, it's your property, so you know.
That's part of it, it's not a big deal. So, and I'm, like I said, give and take, they're
Right,
providing me with all that material. Yeah, it's nasty, but it sits there and I farm it out. It dries out, it's usable.
right,
So, for what I'm wanting to do.
cool. Okay. All right, thank you.
Well,
David Bender.
I'm Dave Bender. I own a small business that I started in Bismarck called Can Clean. I wash people's wheelie bin garbage cans at residents all the time. I guess you guys have changed contractor and that's on wheelie bins, some of them at the curbs.
I guess you speak up a little bit because we record this,
Oh,
so
usually
people can hear.
I got mine deep voice, usually that's not a problem. So I own a small business in Bismarck and we go around power wash out people's garbage cans for them on the day that the garbage can is dipped. We come by and power wash out their garbage cans for them. So one of my ideas was hopefully to come to Washburn once a month or once a summer, or depending on how business goes, to come and wash out some of the cans up here in Washburn. And so I started the process to find out what it would take to do business up here, and I found out that probably was gonna need an itinerant license application, because I was hoping to, go through and put one of these under each of the lids of all the cans in town so people would know about my business. And because I was gonna be soliciting business through this card, it probably would fall under the itinerant license. And because I'm a stranger in town, people are gonna call and wonder, what's this guy doing? And I understand that. After reading it though, when I received it, it did say that hereafter, offer to sell either wholesale, retail, any goods, wares, or merchandise. I don't really feel like I'm selling any goods, wares, or merchandise, I'm just offering a service. So I kind of felt like I had a loophole. No, I don't really want to pay $200. I don't even know if I'm gonna get 10 customers to pay $20 to do this. So, you know, I'm taking on a little bit bigger risk than I really want to as a small business to see if this thing will go off. I guess I'm looking for an exception because I don't really fall under the letter of the law, but under the spirit of the law, you want to make sure that if you do get phone calls, you know, hey, we got this guy on paperwork. Oh, yeah, I got one for all of you, in case you don't actually know them. Actually highlighted and underlined a couple of places. There's a definition on the second page of it. Section 2, and then I highlighted that section. And then it's from any stand, wagon, railroad car, motor vehicle upon any street, public open ground. It's kind of like cells. And then section 6, there's another definition now. So making uninvited calls at a residence is being a nuisance for the purposes of, you know, it's not like I'm gonna be knocking on doors and making, you know, would you like to buy my product? It's more like I'm just gonna be hanging up door hangers, or I don't actually hang up door hangers, I just actually open a lid and put this in each one as I go by. So I'm not gonna be approaching people. If they approach me and say, hey, you know, what you got? You know, and once my truck's in town, people will come up and want, hey, how do you do this? You know, you take all your dirty water with you, and there'll be people want to see my mousetrap, basically, is what I say. Then, you know, I count that as you approached me, I didn't approach you. So I guess I'm actually looking to, you know, come out here and let people see me approach the commission and say, yeah, we know about this guy. He's got a business license in Bismarck, I got a license in the state of North Dakota to do business. I'm not just, you know, one of the kids on a bike selling magazines, so, and I know we have those in Bismarck too, they have to wear a name badge with a photo ID. In Bismarck, I don't need a permit to solicit when I'm just hanging up door hangers, but I would if I did knock on the door and ask people if they'd like to sign up on a service, then I would need a solicitor's license in Bismarck.
What about possibly mailing them, or?
That was, you know, that's about the same cost, to be honest with you. I have actually more time and money to try to get this business going, so for me to drive around and put these up is actually a better use of my time and money than to try to send out a direct mail, compete with, you know, a direct mail response. And honestly, in Bismarck, I haven't had as much response as if I actually put these on the door.
Right, well, that's,
So,
yeah,
it's an advantage for me, but to buy a list and then to pay the postage and still pay the marketing costs to develop a piece and send it out, and if any of you have done that, that's not cheap either. So. And, you know, it's a small service. I mean, I'll probably get 20 people who are interested in doing it for $20. That's $400. If I come up one day a month and make $400 and give you guys $200, that's a lot of money, to be honest with you. That's a big chunk of my take, so.
So what is the cost? It's $200 per year? Or,
Correct, with a $500 bond.
okay, $500 and then $200 per year.
Have you talked to Circle Sanitation by chance? To see
I have
what-
communicated with them.
Did they tell you it was okay to put those on the cans?
I didn't ask them if it was okay to put on their cans.
Are they okay with you cleaning their?
I didn't ask them about that either, but to be honest with you, the companies in Bismarck are very happy for me to clean their cans, because if a resident quits their service, they get a clean can coming back to their service.
Because we don't own those cans, Circle Sanitation does. When you called them, when did you talk about it?
Asked them when they picked up garbage, asked them if they ever heard of anybody cleaning garbage cans, asked if they had worked with anybody doing that.
Yeah.
Asked if anybody was doing it up in mine, because that's another opportunity for me.
I guess you know that, you know, you're not sticking them to the cans where they're gonna be, you know, stuck to it, I guess, you know, if it was something like that, then.
It's already halfway in the garbage can. If somebody doesn't want to look at it, all I gotta do is push it in. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that, honestly.
Right.
People are getting to be frustrated because they're getting junk mail on their garbage can. Open a lid and let it fall in. I mean, you guys are gonna worry about those kind of phone calls from your residents? When I'm really offering a service that's pretty decent for daycares, people who are handicapped, people who are shut-ins, fishermen, people who have pets. These are the people who call me and want this service done. And, you know, to be honest with you, I'm offering a really nice service to some people who've never, ever been able to even drag a garden without cleaning a garbage can. So, I
guess-
consider it more of a public service than actually a business, because I'm not gonna get rich off of something like this, but it's a pretty nice service to offer.
Maybe I'm more curious about that. Have you approached Circle Sanitation to ask them if they would want you to clean all of their cans rather than approach and solicit each resident of the town? I guess
Well, I'm
I'm
sure
just
they're
curious.
gonna wanna change the bid to include the price of me, you know.
Yeah, I don't think
That's,
we'd
that'd
wanna
be
add that.
something they wanna
to
add
our-
in next year, the next biennium's
Okay.
bid or something. But,
Our
every
price is
resident is
guaranteed
gonna-
for 2 years, so.
Yeah, they're not gonna wanna do that. I mean, it's, each resident should really be, I mean, I'd be happy to get the whole city of Washburn bid if you guys
Well, no, I
do
just,
something.
just a question more than anything.
That's pie in the sky, but that's pretty high. That's swinging for the fence.
I mean, this does say it's, sell, goods, wares, merchandise.
I mean, I don't, that's what the letter, I think I could slide in under the letter of the law, and you guys could send a police officer out to, and I could probably fight this against the letter of law, but the spirit of law is you just don't want anybody rumbling through the town,
Oh, no, right.
approaching your
exactly.
residents, and I totally understand that. And this is protecting the residents of Washburn from fly-by-nighters, And I don't think that anybody who's willing to come to the city commission and show their face and go through what I've already gone through to meet with you and come face to face to talk to you and have a legitimate business close to Washburn.
Do we have a free?
I don't know why that would be wrong, but if you're gonna, honestly, I'm not gonna be able to provide the service if you're gonna have
Cold door to
have
door
a
with
$500 bond every year fee, unless you wanna take on that risk with me, and once I make my first 1,000, I'll start paying you $200. Something like that, but let's take on the risk together instead of asking a small business to do this. I lay that out.
I don't think generally, small towns take soliciting very well. And I think a permit would be the way to go for law enforcement because of calls that they're gonna receive. You're gonna probably get chased right out of town without a permit.
You think
With all
your
the
town?
calls,
Without going through the doors.
with all the calls that they're gonna be getting and all the Facebook posts,
Maybe.
somebody's in town,
But then again, he's not doing nothing out here either. What do you need that permit for?
basically,
He's not talking to nobody. He's just sitting,
Yeah,
like you
not
said,
talking to
it's-
people.
if he just sets them in the dumpster lid like he says, there's, should be,
Well, it's still an offer to sell.
It's not good to wear. I mean, let's not talk about the letter of the law as much as I guess the spirit of the law. If you feel like it's still gonna be a problem, it's your town. I really feel like the spirit of the law says you want people to be registered and licensed. The letter of the law is probably, you should probably clarify that as, door hangers and, be a little bit more specific on that because it's not goods, wares, and things that I'm actually selling. It should be services should be listed in there, like what if I trim trees? I couldn't come and trim trees without having this license. I couldn't come and do OSI and
but they don't go,
fertilize lawns.
they just put like things on like Facebook or put an ad in the newspaper. So,
Change the ordinance.
and they contact through that way.
Yeah.
And that's the avenue that, you can take to, at least, I've had very good luck with putting it on, so I'm asking for the opportunity to do that again. Ads in newspapers is inexpensive in Washburn, good value too, so.
Well, I know there are a lot of people that don't clean their garbage cans. And they get pretty bad.
It's a public health issue too, I mean, it's a valuable.
And you take all the water back with you,
I
right?
take all the dirty water with me and I bring all my fresh water with me.
Larry Ray has a question.
I can't have a hard time hearing what he's saying. So you're gonna come into town and,
Wash people's garbage cans.
but you're gonna go door to door to ask if you could do it, or you're gonna?
No, I
put
just
it-
wanna go door, can to can and put a piece of paper in the can so that you can learn about my business. So when the cans are out on Tuesday or whatever day, I can just go and put one of these on everybody's can, then you can learn about my business.
You
So-
put it under the lid, you know.
And then we can call you to have you,
Yeah, then you call me if you're interested and you throw it away if you're not. Or keep it for the day when you are interested.
or drop it in the garbage
Or
can.
put it right in the can, because it's right there, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen people grab them, they go like this. I get that 3 seconds.
I have one of those.
Sure.
Thank you.
Shameless,
Personally, I don't
shameless.
see a problem with it.
I just think the city's gonna get a lot of calls.
Well, he's not actually contacting anybody, so.
Well, if he fills out the application, just so we know it's on hand, so we'd have it, and then the sheriff's department would have it, or whatever, you know.
But if he fills out the application, then he has to bond and pay the money, I would say. Or am I thinking wrong on that?
I think it's on.
Maybe reword the application to information type deal, or informative application, or something like that.
Don't we have a list of like contractors in town or something?
But they, for their license to us, yes. Their insurance license.
Because really, basically, this is just a contractor coming into town. I guess the question is, now the question is can he, I mean, he can come into town and do this, the question is, can he put these in garbage cans? That's what we're asking, right?
Right.
Put these in garbage cans, that's
The
the
method
only
of
question.
marketing.
Otherwise, you're a contractor that people
Right.
call.
I could come to town, if they called me or contact me through my Facebook page, I could come up.
Pay the money.
I could do business here without you guys knowing I was here. I'm sure you'd probably get phone calls, but I'd be a new guy in town.
Yeah.
I don't know that you, I need a permit to do business in town. That'd be a different question on that.
Is there something I'm missing on this, or?
Well, normally when someone comes in to do business in town, we do ask them to all complete it. It doesn't matter what business it is, we ask them to complete the application so we can bring it forward to the city commission.
This application?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. On the other one, we have currently licensed as Schwann's.
But other businesses have filled this application
Yeah.
out?
He'd be the only one since I've been here. We've given them to them, they just don't continue to go through it, the process.
I was gonna say, I've never seen one come across at all.
I haven't either.
Yeah, but the application is provided to anybody that's asking for it.
And then, so if they have this application, the only reason they would have to pay the $200 and have the bond is if they go door to door.
Yes, if they would go forward with it. If the application's approved, then they pay the $200 and the bond, and then they're able to sell, and that's a yearly fee.
I'm not really sure how that works with the contractor though. You know, you can hire a contractor from Bismarck to come in,
You're soliciting them.
Yeah, but you're still,
yeah.
he's going can to can.
But he's not talking to nobody.
He's not going door to door, which, you know, he's not selling, well, he's not selling goods.
Well, this is confusing. I'm gonna make a motion to allow David Bender with Can Clean to come into Washburn to put his advertisement on the garbage cans on the day of garbage. With the filling out of some kind of a information application, something like that, so we have it on hand and the sheriff's department has it on hand, so this will be taken care of. I don't think this should be that hard of a decision.
Good point.
So,
What?
so no fee?
I don't think a fee because he's not, you know, he's not going door to door, but if, maybe that should be in the motion too. If you end up, you know, if we find out you do end up going door to door, you will be charged with the $200 and a $1,000 fine, you know, just to make sure it stays at the cans and that's where it stays. And And I really think you probably will have luck around town. I got 2 right now you could come and do, to be honest with you. It's nasty. But that's my motion.
Okay, do you have a second? I'll second the motion. What do you charge?
For monthly cleaning, it comes $12. For one-time cleaning, it's $20.
I see. Oh, like every month, okay. You do it in the winter too?
No, May through October.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this?
So this motion says there is a fine if you go door to door.
$1,000.
Well, that, you know, that's, I mean, if somebody sees him putting these out and somebody says, hey, can I talk to you? That's a little different than
Right,
going door to door, just so we're clear on that.
Right, yeah.
So,
There's a-
Do we talk to Circle Sanitation to make sure that they're okay with this though? Because these are their garbage cans?
Yeah, it's pretty property.
I suppose a quick call to them would be fine.
Quick call by who?
The office.
Okay.
And then I'm sure the office has your number, they think. I mean, I can't see why they would mind. I mean, a clean garbage can,
Yeah.
you know.
I suppose we were put on approval from
Yes.
Circle.
Yes. Okay, any further discussion on that? Okay, Keith,
Aye.
please.
Aye.
Aye.
Well,
No.
yes. I see your point. Okay, hopefully you'll get tons of business.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, to us. Budget update.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
After that last discussion, I took way too long.
All right, we'll start with giving you guys an update as to where we're at right now. This last week, I guess, we'll just start with that. We have the 9th Street water main in services. Our water mains in, services aren't connected, the new services aren't connected to the house. We're waiting for testing to come back on to make sure that everything's okay with pressure and bacteria. But the 9th Street services that we I think we approved that last meeting, so that one's good to go. We started on 6th Street as far as the base material and blue topping. So I'm sure you guys have already seen all the heavy equipment moving out there. But the storm sewer was completed on River Road, 8th Street and 6th Street. That's the concrete pipe that if you guys saw that go on the ground, if you've been down River Road.
Got done by the park, you mean?
Yeah, down by the park, we got the pipe was recompacted and they have the outfall redone. It actually looks pretty nice. If you have a chance to take a look at it.
Actually, you sound so surprised.
With some of the stuff that we're gonna get to here. And I'll go right into that. Some field observations, concerns that we've had. We went around and surveyed the as-built on some of the sanitary sewer on 8th Street and 2nd Avenue. And we found the manholes to be installed high, so not standard. Our goal on even doing that work on 8th Street was to lower our sewer,
Right.
so we'd have more fall for all the users that are on 2nd Avenue.
So do you mind if I sit up here? I can't hear them.
Absolutely.
This is what I came
Sit down,
from.
Bill. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we also, on Monday, we inspected the sewer mains. We had them cleaned, jetted, and then ran a camera down them, and found that those were not installed standard as well. They had too many peaks and valleys in the pipe.
On how many streets?
On, I'll call it 3 blocks.
Okay.
8th Street from the tracks to 2nd Avenue, and then 2nd Avenue from 8th Street to 6th Street.
Okay.
So we had a meeting with Wagner and we discussed it, and they're gonna be redoing all that sewer main from the railroad tracks all the way to 6th Street.
Good.
So, and we talked about it at our progress meeting today at 2 o'clock as well. But right now, we have the contractor digging up by the tracks again, and that manhole that was set there by the tracks, that one's good to go. It's on grade where it should be. It's just some of the means and methods of the last crew that was here, which they're no longer here anymore. They're long gone now, but they got a crew that's very competent that's in here now, and they're doing a good job so far. So we'll make sure that we have a close eye on those guys, even though that they've shown us that they're very competent already. But the plan right now going forward is this new crew will be replacing the sanitary sewer from the tracks up to 2nd Avenue and then down 2nd Avenue towards 6th Street, towards the dead end where it is.
From 6th Street over, that's fine?
From 6th Street to the dead end, they didn't even get to that yet.
Oh, I see.
They didn't even do that yet.
Okay.
So, now we'll have to do those 3 blocks before we get to that point again.
Right,
So,
understand.
um,
How far back, 2nd to 7th?
this crew that's in now, I would say, I would give them 5 days to get that work done. I think that their superintendent would say 3, but I'm gonna say 5.
Is that that Dave guy?
Their superintendent's Kevin,
Oh.
Kevin Hess,
I met that.
short, stocky guy with the
I met
gray
Dave,
hair.
I met Dave the other day, he's the,
Dave's a tall guy with the dark hair. He's the foreman that was working on the
Okay,
water
right.
main over here.
okay, yes.
So, and on Saturday, I should back up to that. That water shutdown on Saturday went very well. It was very, very fast and efficient. Got it all hooked up right away, and that went very well. So Dave's guys are doing the water. Their plan is to finish the water main here on Main Avenue, and then they're gonna go back and chase the crew that's doing the sanitary sewer, and they're gonna put the water main in after them. So that's kind of the down and dirty as to what's happened and what we're gonna be doing the next week. Everything will be re-inspected again after it's put in, but like I say, we'll have a very close eye on these guys as well. Now as far as, I just wanna give you an update on what's going on with the sewer surcharge we had after the storm, when we had all the rain, the basements that got flooded. I did speak to Wagner's insurance contact. His name's Marty, he's from Wagner Construction, and he gave me the insurance adjuster's name that came out from Western National, that's the insurance company. His name is Leland Cassell, and he's a local adjuster from Bismarck. I just spoke to him, and Leland said when he came out here, he gave all the residents all of his information and explained how the process is gonna go. I know there's been quite a few that have been not really satisfied how that's been going so far as they feel like they're in the dark. They don't know what's going on for sure yet, but I guess the feedback I got from them is it takes time. There's obviously, everyone's basement was full of a lot of stuff. All that has to be looked at and price has to be put on it, and you know, for them to publish all those detailed reports, it takes a while. But they just ask for patience. They're gonna be doing one at a time. It's not like they're gonna do them all, hold them, and then send them out to everybody at once. So I guess I would ask the same of the residents. I'm sure you guys have gotten plenty of calls about it, but to have patience with it, and the insurance process it takes a while, but we'll get it.
I would ask for you to talk to Leland.
Yep, Leland.
I would ask for you to talk to him and him personally call these residents.
Okay.
If it's a week, weekly, 2 weeks, but personally call them himself and let them know where it is standing, keep them informed.
Give them updates.
Because we don't know, well, we're not the insurance company.
Right.
We had this last year. And I'm not gonna deal with this again last year. Would it go on 3 months, 4 months?
As we still play for, yeah.
You know, it's not gonna happen this year. So I would ask for you, if you could do that for me and
Absolutely.
us as the board.
Yeah.
Have him contact these people personally. If it's once a week or once every 2
Give 'em
weeks,
updates.
keep them updated on what's going on. Here's where we're at with the situation. We're still going, this is just information to them residents, and
Absolutely.
then if, return it back to the ladies in the office, you
Yep.
keep up with them, but That's how I see it. I don't know if everybody else is like that too, because this
Yeah,
was a
absolutely.
headache last year.
Yeah. And we have been, I know that Joan and Sharon have been talking to everybody a lot. I've been talking to quite a bit of them, and trying to give them as many updates as we can.
And appreciate that, because you know how it's gonna, you know what happened last year, and that's all these people are seeing is what happened last year, and we, you know, it's out of our hands what had happened, but the information side, I think if the insurance keeps up with it, you know, like they would go month and not hear, you know, nothing, and all of a sudden somebody would call one day and say something, then it was months again. I think just for their own well-being, they need that assurance that, you know, it is being handled, it's just patience, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not good in any way you look at it, but.
Yeah, so I'll make sure I stay on him and make sure that we're informing everybody what's going on. But that's another thing that we're gonna have to do, and I don't know if you guys talked to any of the residents about that we're gonna be redoing that sewer, but we're gonna be talking to them as well, and Caleb and I will probably end up going door to door just to let them know. We will be going through that whole area again for the water main, so they're getting three times through that street, just because we're redoing the sewer, so, but we'll make sure that we stay on it. These crews, like I say, they've done very well so far, and they're very efficient, so as long as the weather stays good, and I think we'll have some good progress on it, so.
So you've cameraed like,
Sixth and Ninth Street with Cameron, and those all look good, yep.
Okay.
Now, those were much easier sewer mains to put in with all the grade you have in the pipe, so, you know, that's kind of more of an elementary side of things compared to the pipe we put in here, which was much flatter pipe.
Yes.
And it had to be that way so we could have that depth, that fall on that main, so. All right, the next couple things I wanted to talk about was, you guys had discussed it at previous meetings, but I'll pass these out. This is right across the street here, that we talked about the handicap accessibility to Tasty Freeze. We're gonna be putting in a sidewalk there, reestablishing a boulevard for right at the corner there. I talked to the owner of I said Tasty Freeze, the iceberg across the street. I talked to her and just to kind of give her an update to make sure she was aware of everything that was going on. She will be losing about one parking spot, I think, but you know, she's gaining that sidewalk in front of her business, so I think, like you guys talked about at the commission meeting last time, it's really a good thing. But she still will have all that parking all the way to the alley too, so.
How is that gonna fit in with the garage door across the street?
There's a ramp that's gonna be going up there, and it actually makes it better for that garage door,
That's bad the way it is now.
we're having more distance for that ramp now.
Oh, okay.
It's a longer.
Oh, that's right, 'cause you're bringing it out.
We're bringing it out.
Okay, yeah, right.
Correct,
okay, yeah, right.
yep. So that should improve that situation actually, and
Mhm.
I think it'll work out pretty nice. But that's just the updated plan sheet that we developed, and I just wanted to give that to you guys so you had an idea of what it's gonna look like.
Give a cost estimate on what that's gonna,
You know, that's an exchange of quantities, so we're having
okay.
less asphalt but more concrete.
oh, okay.
So, I didn't crunch those numbers, but I could, but it's gonna be pretty close to the same.
Yeah, probably be a little more concrete, a little more expensive, but.
Yeah.
But you're taking some out too, so.
But we're taking out some and we're having less asphalt, so.
And I think that drop off onto the existing ramp was.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gonna be
making that
remedied.
ramp, that
Yeah.
ramp's gonna become a lot safer
Yeah.
because of this too. So it only will improve that,
Yeah.
that situation, so. Paul, who is the street foreman, he's already started the removals, and there's only a little piece of concrete that he's gotta get out of there yet, but. So we're gonna have that ready to go for the concrete, which kinda brings me, well, I'll get to that later. But is there any questions on this portion? Okay. We had walked around today with Commissioner Jacobson to check out different parts of town for the sidewalk project. And I think that's going pretty good as far as we have a good number of bids already. But the one question that we wanted to bring up here at the meeting tonight was, down here by the coulee, that sidewalk, it's right next to the coulee, basically, if you could fall off of it. I know there's a cable fence there. But we're looking at it, and there's a number of panels, and if you guys wanna go look at it maybe when you have a chance to, so you can have an idea. But there's a number of panels that are kind of broken up and cracked. And we looked at it with Jasper and with Keith here, and we thought if we're gonna be replacing that sidewalk, that it'd probably be better to just move it to the other side of the trees. And I know you probably looked at that before and thought the same thing, Larry.
I
but-
have thought of that for years and years and years.
So I wouldn't recommend replacing it in where it is.
Right.
If we're gonna replace it, put the sidewalk on the other side of the trees, away from the cliff, so kids aren't falling off into the coulee.
The worst part is it's gonna be right next to the street.
We have about 3 feet from the street.
Yeah, we could set it 3 feet off the back of the curb, and that would still leave enough room for a 4.5 foot wide sidewalk to leave the trees that are there in the boulevard, without having to rip those trees out of there.
Right now, we're replacing some sidewalk on both ends, kind of, but probably not in the middle, just because it'd be pretty hard to replace in the middle. If we decided to do the whole thing, we would move the sidewalk over towards the street.
Well, how bad are those trees? I mean, I don't think those trees are in that great a shape anyway. You know, I always thought about possibly removing a section of trees and, because like I said, I don't think they're that.
Well, the corner
great
trees are
anyway.
coming out anyway because of that new curve that's going
Yeah.
around there towards, the city compound.
Right.
So those will be out of there already to start making that transition over. And.
There's one large tree that would have to be removed
Yeah.
there to make that transition. There's that one large tree that's on the corner. So we're widening that approach on 11th that goes to the city compound. So, just the one. But,
But, I think, if you get more closer to the middle, like where those trees are, I think, how close do you want it to the street, quite honestly, especially, little kids on bikes and stuff like that, you don't want it veering off, Of course, I mean, anything's better than what it is now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and Jasper actually brought it up because it's, he's thought now might be the time if we were gonna do it, since we're going to end up putting some at both ends.
Yeah.
I had a question for Keith. Have you guys looked at snow removal though, to move the curb that close to the street? Is that gonna be an issue?
Oh, the sidewalk?
It's always an issue. yeah.
Or the
Oh,
sidewalk?
yeah, that's another.
It's always an issue, yeah.
So then Larry's idea about more down the middle probably would be.
So I think those
more
trees are pretty crappy anyway, I mean, I've looked at them.
Well, I know that about 5 of them are going out anyway because of the light pole and also that corner.
Yeah, and,
So I don't know how many more there is.
I'm assuming there would have to be some kind of little retaining wall by that coulee or something, eventually,
Ray?
Yeah, if you left the sidewalk there, it wouldn't have to be fixed, right? Pretty good sidewalk there now?
In the very middle, there's actually some sidewalk in the middle that we were going to fix, but it's such a tough spot because it's all starting to tip towards the coulee.
Well, I was just wondering, what would be the expense if you put, like you said, Larry, a railing up there so the sidewalk could basically remain where it is and it's protection so nobody's gonna fall in the coulee?
The problem is the sidewalk's right at the edge,
Yeah.
you would,
I understand.
I don't know how you really get a railing in there.
And as you're walking home, if you look down, the whole sidewalk's like this.
Well, I understand it, and half a horse can fall through it and into the coulee, so you're lucky that some little kid hasn't done it, but whatever.
Well, and even I don't think the snowblower can go through there, because there's no room to put that one tree too, so. I mean, I think if we're gonna do it, we should move it over, like, get rid of those trees and move it over, that's what I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
well, after we looked at it there, I put a little estimate together on that,
Okay.
what it would cost to remove all that sidewalk. And it's, we were gonna remove some of it, but it would end up being about 400 feet of extra sidewalk to remove.
Yeah.
So that's about 1,800 square foot for a 4.5 foot wide sidewalk. To remove the sidewalk at the contract price, we'd be able to use unit prices, which is something that's also good. $12 per square yard to remove the sidewalk, and that would come up to $2,400. To install new 4-inch thick sidewalk at $550 per square foot, that's gonna be $9,900. And after you remove all that sidewalk, that's right by the coulee, we'd have to, seed it and
Right.
restore it. That's gonna be $5 a square yard at another $1,000. So you're looking at, $13,300 to remove that sidewalk, seed it, and then redo the sidewalk on the street side of the trees.
Is
I didn't account for any true.
Is that over and above what we would have done with just?
That would be over and above what we would normally were already doing, because
Oh, okay.
I didn't account for, the quantities that I added up today, when we looked at it, was just the extra stuff beyond what we already were gonna do with the project, so. It is quite a long distance, I mean, it's about 400 feet, the
Long ways,
length of that
yeah.
coulee, so.
It's like a whole block, I mean, it's a whole block,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so.
So $2,400 to tear it out?
To remove all that sidewalk, yeah.
Okay, don't we have a skid steer? Don't we have a dump truck?
Mhm.
Why can't we tear it out? Save $2,400.
Price is starting to come down.
Just push it over the side.
Yeah.
Well, we'd have to get the trees out of there first probably because, there's a safety issue involved with taking it
Right,
out. Because we're taking it out here with the skid steer, you were right on the edge.
But our guys can cut the trees down,
I've-
we'll just have.
Yeah,
to
but what I'm
some
saying
kind
is like if you go to remove sidewalk
of-
panels,
Oh, yeah,
you're like looking straight down at
that's
it.
true, yeah.
And I'm assuming if somebody that would come in and take the sidewalk out would more than likely
They'd use a backhoe.
or
Backhoe,
something.
yeah.
For safety reasons.
Where is this at?
You got back we can borrow?
Right
Look in
down.
the
I can do it
coulee,
all with skid steer for you, in probably about 2 hours, if that. Where's this at though?
Right down here.
right down here.
Down here by
We're
the,
going down here,
That's
Where the
all.
turkeys cross the road down
Yeah.
here?
Right.
Okay.
and then go over to my
You
And
want
again,
it
these are the unit prices from the current contract that.
Right, these are from the contract.
Contractors,
Okay.
yeah. So this
Not-
is what,
not-
this is what we could get them to do it for.
But see, we could hire outside to do some of that too, so.
I'm
That's
less than
completely up
$2
to
a
the
square.
city commission.
Hmm?
if you
I
guys
saw
want to do
less than
that.
$2 a square for demo.
Wow. Where would you haul it to?
Right up here where y'all got yours. I'll give it to you, all for free.
This is concrete though.
Huh?
This is concrete though.
As long as it doesn't have rebar in it.
Yeah, but the
Concrete's accurate.
contractor has to get rid of the concrete.
Huh?
The contractor has to get rid of the concrete.
Well, I can get rid of it for you. I got somebody who wants it. Out of town,
That's
far from Washburn.
That's true, yes. Well, it's something we'll consider. I mean, I think we need to do something. I mean, that's terrible down there.
Oh, and
What about a
will-
retaining wall?
when
We're
will they be
worried about
doing
little
those
Johnny
2 ends
falling
if we
off.
decide not to?
With a retain,
When will the
do a
contractor
retainer up so
do
high and then
ends
a
of the-
metal fence,
Something.
railing, 4
Yeah.
foot.
I would guess that you'd be doing it pretty soon.
Yeah.
They gotta get the water main
That would
done.
alleviate
Once they
all
get the
that.
water main done, I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yeah,
Andy,
you put
the
hoses
street
and-
foreman, will be starting to
Guide
work
wire
that street.
ropes and
He
harnesses
normally does remove
before
those
they
while
cross.
he's
Yeah.
working on the street.
Well, keep in contact with
See,
me on that.
see, the trouble with that is, if we don't do the new way of doing it and putting it down the middle, the contractors that we've hired are going to actually do the cement on both ends within a couple weeks.
Well, I mean, I can put a hold on that if you need to, easy, I tell them just leave that alone. And again, that is a lot of trees too, so that's something you wanna consider. I didn't account for any tree removal prices, but if you have somebody that would wanna do that too. But that's something you guys have to decide if you wanna do tree.
well, I think there's a way to cut this cost drastically then.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to pay $1,000 to reseed it when our guys, we got a skid steer. We can do this
So-
stuff
So
ourselves.
are we thinking that we want to move the sidewalk over and do it, but just try to get bids to get it at a cheaper price? Is that the idea, or what is our plan?
I'll be honest with you, I never really looked at it, so I would like to look at it and
Okay.
kind of see what
Okay.
you're talking about myself.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, I think we need to look at it.
Speaking of getting rid of concrete, that other crew, it took out an approach and a culvert behind Snowbarks, and they put 2 new culverts in. I don't think that's gonna solve the problem. They're just gonna let more water wash that out. I mean, if you guys had some big rocks or stones or something to slow that down. You know, you're digging up rocks all over the city. That water's gonna be worse instead of better.
Yeah, we dumped, I don't know how many loads of rocks we've dumped in there over the years.
I know, they just wash away, but if you had some bigger,
I know, these boulders, man.
but now I think it's gonna be worse. They're gonna let more water through there now. I don't think it's a very good plan.
No, I think it's actually gonna be better.
Think so, huh?
Yeah, we've increased the size of the pipe. The problem with down by, Slovarps is as you kind of continue down the hill towards the back of her house there, the grade only increases. And then you had an old railroad approach with a small pipe, and everything was backed up to that pipe, and then now it's being pushed and jetted out that culvert. That's why you're having all that really bad erosion down on the other side of it, because that's where it dropped down. I mean, I know that there was cracks like this that were on the other side of that, so, and, you know, the plan is, with the railroad, you know, we talked about this last month with the railroad, they said we have to remove that approach, they're not gonna let us put a different pipe in. So we did that work. We still got more work to do with grading and seeding and restoration, but that situation should only be better than what it has
I
been.
don't think so. You're gonna have more water running. It's not gonna run on the sides, it's gonna run right in the middle. It's not gonna run on the side of the coulee, of the ditch. You just let more water run down that same area. We'll see how it works out, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Okay.
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
You
But if you
increase the pipe
estimate
size?
this or something, to slow that water
Yeah, we don't wanna.
And we're not done with our work down there yet. We have more work to do.
It's like if you take a small pipe,
I think you
it's
got
like
a
holding your
bigger
finger over a
problem.
garden hose. You put a big pipe, it decreases the pressure
That's
of what's
what
coming
we've
out.
done.
You might still have the same volume, but the pressure's gone down drastically.
Exactly. And
Yes.
we've completely removed the pipe that's on the worst part of it, so it's a wide open ditch now. And
Right.
like I say, they got more work they gotta do yet, but
Right,
the situation should only be improved from what it was.
right.
Yeah, I understand that the small pipe, the water was rushing out, but it's still rushing down the center, it's not on the side. It's letting more water down. We'll see, I guess.
Anything else?
Yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to cover was the schedule going forward. The street crew is going to be taking off on Thursday because that's the end of the 10-day run. They'll be gone for 4 days back home for some R&R, and then we'll be back on Tuesday. The 2 utility crews will be working for the next 7 days as far as I can foresee, but after that I gotta ask them on their schedule. So they'll be in town working through this weekend.
Have you got an estimated completion date on this project, or?
Well, the substantial completion date is October 7th, and the final completion date is October 28th. So we're gonna be paving before that.
Right, but the underground work, that'll be done.
The underground work will be done much sooner than that, yes. Any other questions for me?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
Is that? Portfolios, Keith?
Nope.
I guess just an update, I met with, Buildings and Grounds, I talked to Rhonda at the museum just to get an update. Liz at the library, Brian Rothman just to get a quick update, so I don't really have anything for, business needs, but learning a little bit about the portfolios. That was it. The AC in the library was the big thing this last couple weeks, so.
You and I should get together and discuss that museum thing when we get a chance.
Sure, yeah, there's a laundry list of
Yeah, I know,
things there, yeah, so.
I know.
I guess I should note that first thing we're gonna do at the library and the museum is look at some grants. Start to see what's out there and see some possibilities there, but, that is all. Memorial Hall, they'll be in to sand the floors hopefully by the 11th of, August here, 11th through the 15th at some point. That's the update there. I know it's pushing towards school starting, so I'll call them again tomorrow and see if we can't get a hard date.
Speaking of Memorial Hall, Keith, did you ever be getting bleachers from the school, or?
No.
can't get near.
I think they had to give them all back, didn't they? Or didn't they take them? Did you say they took them?
Yeah, they ended up tearing them apart, and then some people ended up buying them, and then the rest they took.
Okay. Is that it, Reese?
Yep, that's it.
Good.
Nothing right now other than Renaissance.
Yep.
Did I get on that one?
Yes, you did.
Yep.
Can you meet tomorrow?
No. I can at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
Okay. And then I think I have to go on. So,
Okay.
Who's all on that?
Kayla Overlander, Mark Jennings, Billy Boyd, and then me or Joan, one of the two of us. And
Okay. No?
Nothing.
I don't think I have any either.
Larry?
Right.
Just hang on.
Yep.
No. Oh, wait, yeah, I'll be out of town for that, planning and zoning meeting on the 11th.
Okay.
I'm not sure I'll be back yet by the 15th or not for that meeting. I'm going on vacation, I'm not sure the exact date I'm coming back, so it's very possible I won't be there for that either, so. Okay, anybody?
I asked Jasper, and I keep getting the same answer. They tore up the boulevard in a couple places on your boulevard, but I gotta take care of it. And it's a mess. I got more weeds than you could shake a stick at. No grass, because I think they ran out of grass with their hydro. And now it's not gonna be till late this fall, so we're in the same predicament as last year. I'm a little sick and tired that Quam can't come back here and get those boulevards fixed in town. They hauled in crummy dirt because they ran out of black dirt when they got to my,
A lot of it wasn't just yours. A lot of it.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty much all rock and no seed.
yeah.
We had the same issue.
But their answer is, oh, they'll be here in the fall. I put up with that thing now for one whole summer plus all of this summer. I'm about ready to go to AE2 in Bismarck and kick around a chair for a couple hours. Because I'm not, it's a joke.
Are they coming back, Eric? This,
I'll have to check with Jasper on that. I'm not familiar with Quam's project, but I'm sure that we can do something to fix that. Where is it that you live again, Ray?
On Main,
Okay.
1426 Main
Yeah, keep
Avenue, and my
going.
neighbor on each side,
Okay.
because we got the worst dirt I've ever seen. And then they ran out of, when they sprayed it, no grass ever come up.
yeah.
So they,
Okay.
Okay, Sharon?
I also want to say, if they do come back, on Missouri Avenue, 15th Street, Missouri Avenue, around the corner there, it'd be like, Willie Zeeland's land. They did a horrible job there. It used to be so nice because Willie was able to mow along the side of the road and everything, and now it's just,
I think that's being taken care of. That's where that drop
Oh,
off is.
okay, yep. Yeah,
Some
I,
dirt's going to be hauled in there, it's gonna be planted.
I
it's
actually-
going to-
what is gonna be.
I got to see that with Jasper today,
Okay.
and we're gonna be doing something about that with the contractor that's in town this year, with
Okay,
Wagner.
okay.
I have to get a hold of the foreman to go do that. I learned of that just before this meeting, so
Okay,
we will be taking care of that.
okay. And I'm kind of.
And chopping those, the weeds couldn't be taken out because I guess it's a really bad drop off there. That's the first time I've seen that was today, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. And I'm kind of with Ray as far as what they put down on my side, because I can't mow down there, so I can only mow so far, and then I have to use a weed whacker because they put all that rock and, yeah.
So Eric,
It's not level or anything,
Does Quam get the bill for fixing that corner then, or what?
I would guess so, but I need to look into the extent of everything for that, from that project. I'm not completely familiar with that.
Some
that
check
project.
into though, see if, if they left it bad, they should.
I agree, yep. And if they just finished, that was the 2015 job then, last year's job?
Yes.
Yes,
They should still be under warranty,
Yes.
I would guess.
oh yeah.
When was your, do you know when you signed off on the, or when you did the final billing for that?
Like October or something,
Okay. Okay,
something like that. Anybody else have anything?
I do.
Yes.
Speaking towards your guys' HR format or whatever you have you guys ever considered looking into having an HR consultant? Somebody who is actually, that's their job, rather than just having two commissioners doing it? I think a lot of people don't consider this a place of business, that it's just the city, but it really is a place of business. You really should have some type of, more of an HR structure than what you've got. The employee disciplinary form is fantastic, but it's not gonna be something that you wanna use for every situation. You're gonna, like for me, when I do my evaluations, I have to sign it and say, I agree with all the statements that are made, and then that goes.
We have an evaluation form as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I just get concerned because, it really is kind of, I don't know, just smoothed over, Doesn't seem like it's a real important thing, but I think it is, because it is a business.
We've been spending a lot of time.
Okay.
A lot.
I just encourage you to keep looking at that.
I think it's improving.
Yeah. And my other concern is tabling things. It seems like a lot of things get tabled for the next meeting. Now, you said you may not be back for the next meeting, and we've tabled the communication. I think that's a pretty important fact about, because you guys all go your separate ways after this, and you've got your own lives and your own jobs, and I'm sure it is hard. But I would think that one of your priorities is, if I am in a leader role, and you all are, you're leaders of our community, I would be expecting that I should be responsible enough to check my emails, check my voicemails, all of that, on a very regular and consistent basis. And I don't think that it should be tabled. I think it should be dealt with.
And I actually, with that one, I do agree with you. There's some times where we sometimes rush into things where we probably should have tabled it.
Mm-hmm.
And then thought about it a little bit longer. Obviously with the deal with the communication with Larry gone next week, well, that's probably something we should have either dealt with now or in 2 weeks when he's back, or 4 weeks or whatever it is. But I understand your concern with that one.
I mean, it just seems, and I'm not saying that, things shouldn't be tabled, but it just seems like, I don't know, it kind of seemed like the thing with Can Clean. I mean, you spent more time on that than you did about a priority of communication between the leaders of our community. I just think that it's sad that that stuff is tabled. I just think those things need to be addressed as a priority.
Okay, thanks. Anybody have anything else? Okay, bills? Motion to pay
Make a
bills?
motion to pay the bills.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the bill? Actually, I have a discussion on a bill from before. Remember that battery for the handicap chair over there?
Yep, I did talk to them. They were out here twice. We will be getting a refund for the batteries.
Sweet, thank you.
I do have one other thing. The other,
Is this about a bill?
no,
We have to vote yet.
okay, that's right.
Dave?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Hi.
Aye. Okay, what do you have?
okay. What day was that, Sharon?
Wait a minute.
Was that last week?
Paperwork.
Thursday, I come in? The boys were up mowing next to the highway
Oh, yeah.
with the lawnmowers,
Okay.
and, the old lawnmower has got caution lights on it, but I was informed by Zach that sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And the new lawnmower has absolutely nothing on it, and they're up there, trimming around the posts, and I believe it was around the tunnel. And, Alan was up there doing that one, and I just flat told him to get away. And I come down here and I told these girls to ordered some lights and get the other lights fixed on that. Just so when a bill comes in that you guys know, I okayed it, I said to do that, that's a safety deal. I didn't figure I needed anybody else's approval for that,
I
so,
talked to Kim, and Kim is the one that actually made those, so he'll have to make some more of those
okay.
from last year.
That's fine, I just wanted these guys to know that you see a bill coming in for a couple $100 for lights,
Absolutely.
you knew what it was, and that's what it's for, so.
Well, safety is huge.
Right, right.
I think that one lawnmower, that old one, actually has the light underneath the roll bar. I think it needs to be on top of the roll bar.
Yeah, yeah.
That needs to be changed. I mean, if you would roll it, you don't want that light banging in the head.
Right.
I mean, that's.
I think there should be a way to do that, like running
yeah.
power to the key or what, whatever guy has to.
Yeah,
do it should
just
be
need to
there.
switch it around the top,
Right.
I mean, on that one, but. So, all right, anything else? Okay, meeting adjourned.
I know what you can do now since you sat too long.